Welcome back, everyone. I am the Depressed Eeyore, and this is Arkham Horror the card game. So our last scenario across Dreadful Waters took quite a while. Part of it was a bigger scenario. It felt like, but also my turns were taking much longer because I was trying to wrap my head around what do you call it? Captivating performance and sign magic because I've never actually used either one of them before. So I apologize if things kind of went for a while. Also, I was making a lot of rules mistakes and having to double check myself. But hopefully, we'll do a bit better in the future. I did think of some alternatives besides getting observed for Marion, at least. Really, the big ones I can think of is just getting her some more fighting events, which I think is definitely on the table. But I think going with observed is still a good call at this point, just so we can have it for more scenarios to take advantage of it. Anyway, let's go ahead and dive into Blood from the Stones. If the investigators arrived on schedule, which we did, the stormy gray skies that have hung over your entire voyage persist as your ship makes port at Singapore. You find yourself bolstered in spite of the weather, reassured by your escapes from the cult pursuers. Perhaps here you may finally go back on the offensive. You book yourself into a modest hotel by the waterfront and resume your investigations, but unlike the other stops in your journey, the enemy is nowhere to be found. Surely here at the trail's end there must be some sign, some trace of this ever-present network of assassins, but where? You are returning to the Arjoxide Hotel when the answer manifests before you. Intro 3. The sky above you shimmers, then tessellates into strange geometrical patterns. The distortions bend, forming a dome around the city as they merge recursively. You reel at the sudden spectacle, but nobody else around you seems to even notice the fractured sky. You can only assume that this phenomenon is tailor-made to affect you alone, but if that's the case, then you are left with some grim conclusions. As the dome surrounds the whole city, you must also assume that it is meant to trap you in Singapore. This would also mean that the cult's ultimate goal is not in Singapore itself, but is somewhere nearby, and the city was simply the easiest rally point. If all of this is true, then you must find a way to break this abstract dome and learn just where the cult's plans will culminate. All right, we definitely have more than 14 notice at this point, so we, of course, will be adding countermeasures. At this point, you might as well not even look at the number and just assume it's always going to be so. All right. Next, choose 3 of the 5 story cards at random. Put them into play below the agenda and act decks, and seal a tablet on each one of them. Remove the other 2 story cards from the game. So I'm assuming that these are the story cards. All right, shuffle 1, 2, 3. I do appreciate that the scripting is supporting the sealing. All right, put the Singapore Harbor, blah, blah, blah. We're going to be starting at Singapore Harbor. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing things. Pronunciation is difficult. I'm getting old. If we have 17 or more notice, we are going to begin with 2 fewer cards and 2 fewer resources. That's going to be fun. For those who are wondering, I have 19 notice right now. We are not delayed, so we don't need to worry about that, but we did choose the least predictable route, so we are going to start with 1 doom. Okay. And then we're good to go. If we had chosen the most direct route, we would actually remove a doom, but it is what it is. All right, shuffle the encounter deck. And we have 3 agendas. Agenda 1A, the geometric barrier. The angular dome shimmers and flickers with power, distorting even the vectors of light flowing through it. Wherever the barrier intersects with the terrain, buildings bend and shift impossibly, though somehow the structures remain standing. 6 doom to advance. Under the dome. The longer this dome delays you, the more time your enemies have to prepare their ultimate goal. Your clear goal is to destroy the geometric barrier, but how? If there is a tablet token in the chaos bag, you must immediately advance. So if we can get the tablets unsealed, we will advance. I think that is everything. Okay. So with that, we're going to go ahead and do our observes first. 1, 2, 3. All right. All right, I am going to go ahead and take Wheel of Fortune for Agnes. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3. 2 additional actions, willpower, and if I succeed in this, I can actually remove a trauma. I don't care about the removing trauma, but starting with extra action sounds absolutely fantastic. Yeah, we have 2 physical trauma, but honestly, that's the least of our worries. All right, let me put a break here. Actually, I forgot to put a break. If I have to redo everything, I will redo the tarot decks and redo the randomization. So let me be right back. Okay, so unfortunately, I'm going to start with a grand total of 3 cards in our hand. And we start out with some bangers. This is not bad. I'm going to tag out the Ward of Protection. All right, Rite of Seeking. We have Clue and stuff. Just don't really have anything else though. All right, over here, deal the orange. None of these. Okay, this is something we can play with. All right, for the sake of this, we get 2 actions to start with. All right. Oh yeah, I didn't go over the tablet token, so we might as well do it now. Skulls is -X, where X is equal to 1 for every 5 notice in your campaign log, rounded down. So skulls are -4. If we hadn't taken the shortest, or if we hadn't taken the least predictable route, we would have had -5s for our skull tokens. Cultists are -2. If you're performing a test against a conspirator enemy, you must either take 1 damage or this becomes a -4. Tablet is -2, and if you're performing a test on a paradox card, you must either take 1 horror or this token becomes -4 instead. And then the Elder thing is -3 and becomes -5 instead if you're on a non-Euclidean location. We don't have, so for right now, we don't actually have any tablets because they're all sealed, and we have never gotten an Elder thing. All right, Singapore Harbor. You've only just arrived, but you have a feeling you won't be staying long. 2 Shroud, 2 Clues, double action, agility 4. Speaking of, we need to set our stats back to normal. Move a clue controlled by an investigator at your location to a story card. If you succeed by 2 or more, you may instead add 1 clue to a story card from the token bank. The sprawling docks offer many opportunities to those quick or stealthy enough to safely find them. So we definitely need to get clues so we can put them on these cards, and that apparently will do something. No clue what, though. Do the story cards need to be face up? Yes. They do need to be face up. That makes sense. Geometric seals. Okay, so the way this works, each of these have different requirements. The geometric barrier is a work of magic that there is no doubt, but you must determine if the underlying principles are the same. The symbols and signs of magic ever present within the dome must give some clue to breaking the spell. As a reaction, after any of the symbols besides autofail is revealed during a skill test at your location, move 1 of your clues to this copy of Geometric Seal. Group limits once per test. If there are 6 clues on this copy of Geometric Seal, you can release each token sealed on this copy and move it to the victory display. And these are victory 1. This one is as arcane as this impossible dome appears to be. It still must have been created by human agents. The key to understanding how to unravel the barrier will be in understanding the cultist who created it. After a conspirator or cultist enemy at your location is defeated or evaded, you can move a clue to this copy. Okay, that's not too bad. And then 6 clues as always. This one is the impossible angles of intersection draw your notice as you inspect the barrier. Time and time again, you have encountered the spatial warping phenomenon, but is there method to it? Only strict inspection of similar events will tell you for certain. All right. After you resolve a non-Euclidean effect, move one of your clues to this copy of Geometric Seal. Same thing as all the other ones. So one thing to note is it's moving clues, your clues, which means we do need to get clues onto Agnes if we want her to actually take advantage of these things. All right, let's go ahead and start with Marion, who has, of course, the sun active. So we get 2 additional actions on our first turn. We will spend our first action doing stand together, get 2 resources, draw 2 cards. 2 resources, draw 2 cards. I'll go ahead and chain my ability off of this to draw another card, and then use that to do a True Awakening. I'll grab this clue and draw 2 cards. And then I'm going to, that was all one action, by the way. I will then go ahead and do another True Awakening to get the other clue and draw 2 cards. And then I'm going to play a Emergency Cache to get 3 resources and draw a card. I'll then do another Stand Together, gain 2 resources, draw 2 cards. Gain 2 resources, draw 2 cards. And then my last action, I am going to go ahead and do Stick to the Plan, Ever Vigilant. God, that is a turn. So first action was these 2, then I did that, then I did that, then I did that, and then I did this. Holy crap. Okay, Ever Vigilant. We're going to spend 1 to get Hollowed Mirror out. We're going to spend 3 to get out Field Agent. And then the remaining 2 will go over here. I will spend 2 to get out Pete Sylvester. And spend 2 to get out Crystalline Elder Sign. We'll seal a +1 on it. Okay. And then that was her turn. Now we go to Agnes. First action for Agnes is we're going to go ahead and play Arcane Initiate. I'm going to take the Horror. I'm going to search top 3. No spells. What a whiff. All right. I'm going to go ahead and spend 3 to get out Shriveling. And then last action, I am going to go ahead and take this action here. So we can go 5 to 4 on this test. We'll commit a Glimmer of Hope to go 7 to 4. And hopefully it's good enough. We pass. We pass by 2 or more. You may add a clue to a story card from the token bank. All right, so which one is going to be the most troublesome? I mean, anything from Agnes would be actually annoying. Well, we'll just put it on the I'll put it on this one. Okay, that is the end of round 1. I'm going to go ahead and put away the sun because it doesn't really matter right now. And enemy phase upkeep. All right, Whispers of Doom. Nautical Charts. Mythos. Second Doom. I'll shuffle the encounter deck one more time and then draw. All right, Corrupting Influence. Compulsion, so the usual one. Mad Architect. Spawn, location connected to the most other locations without another Mad Architect, aloof. Each location connected to Mad Architect's location gains non-Euclidean. Place 1 Doom on Mad Architect. Has 2 fight, 2 evade, 1 health, and hits for 2 horror. So location connected to the most other locations without another Mad Architect. So this one is closest, so I'm going to take that one. All right. Investigation phase. So each location connected to Mad Architect location gains non-Euclidean, place 1 Doom. So if I did this now, group limit once per effect. So the big thing here is I just need to make sure I kill this guy. He is aloof. But I could definitely deal with him with Agnes, so that's not a problem. Okay. Let's start with Marion. I'm going to go ahead and the first action spend 3 to do nautical chart. Oh. 1 second. All right, sorry about that. Quick rewind. I can't actually play this nautical chart because I didn't actually draw it. I did Hollow Mirror, but didn't put the soothing melodies in. So one of these should go into my hand. The other two should get shuffled in, and then I'll just redraw and get Glimmer of Hope instead. Okay, sorry about that. So in that case, that does change my plans because I was going to do Task Force, but now I can't. Let's go ahead and move. We'll put a Doom on this guy, and I'll move my clue onto this. And that'll move us. I'm going to go ahead and head over to Theon Hock Keng. I'm going to mispronounce all of this, just FYI. One of the oldest temples in Singapore, originally dedicated to the Chinese goddess Mazu, though it includes shrines to Buddha, Confucius, and many other deities. 3 Shroud, 2 Clues, Lightning Bolt. During a skill test you are performing at this, choose and discard a card from your hand, reveal tokens from the token bag until you reveal any of the symbols. Cancel each other token revealed, limit once per round. So the benefit of this is if I reveal those tokens, I can, of course, put a clue on this thing. All right, so I moved over here. I'm going to go ahead and exhaust Field Agent to grab a clue. Then I'm going to spend 1 to do Trusted as a fast. I'll use my ability to draw a card to get my lucky. And then off of that, I'm going to spend 1 to do Winging It. So I'll go 4 to 2. All right, that is a Skull, which is -4. I will spend 1 to do a Lucky to pass. So I do get the clue. And since I revealed I can remove I can move 1 clue over to this thing now. Okay. That's an accessory. I don't need to worry about that. All right. So that was just a move into that. Now, one thing I'm not so sure about this is I think it's once per effect. But I'm not sure. I guess it counts as I think I can only do it once from off of this thing, even though it's from a different location. Because the effect is from him. So I think that's how it works. Alright, so just to recap, I moved and then I did an event that was fast and change off my investigate off of that. So we got that going for us. We could do a task force, but I don't think that's worth it. Let's go ahead and move. This will put another doom on this guy. Freemason's Hall. I mean, I could also just go to this location. Eventually. Freemason's Hall. This Masonic Brotherhood has arguably existed in Singapore longer than the city itself has. Sir Stanford Raffles, who founded and designed much of the city on behalf of the British Empire, was a well-known Freemason. 3 Shroud, 4 Clues, non-Euclidean, reveal random token. If you get the symbols besides Elder, you take a damage or horror. Lightning Bolt, if you control Compass of the Grand Lodge. Parlay, add 2 clues to story cards in the game, distributed how you wish. Group limit once per game. So, reason for me to get the compass out. Alright, so we moved, and we got one more action in us. This is what, 3 Shroud? I don't have much I can... Okay. I wonder if Whitecliffe's Ring will actually have use, but I don't think it will. I'm going to go ahead and spend one to go ahead and play Winging It from the discard. And I'll commit a Whitecliffe's Ring. So that'll put us at 6-2. We pass. And we get 2 clues here. Okay. Alright, Agnes. I'll go ahead and search top 3 for a spell card. Got one this time. Alright, next we'll move, which of course is going to put another doom on this person. I don't have any clues to transfer, unfortunately. The Cenotaph. A monument dedicated to the citizens of Singapore who lost their lives fighting for the British in the Great War. The tall stone plinth is flanked on either side with memorial plaques listing the names of the dead. 3 Shroud, 2 Clues. Search the top 5 cards of the encounter deck for a card and draw it. Shuffle the encounter deck. Action, shuffle the encounter discard pile back into the encounter deck. Much of the barrier's energy seems to be flowing through the stone monument. It may cost you, but you may also gain some insight into how to break the barrier through it. Neat. Alright. Really wish I can get a clue, but going 3-3 on this is not exactly favorable. Alright, well, either way, I have to do this at one point, so I'm going to go ahead and engage this guy. And then I'm going to gain a resource, which will provoke. I'll put 1 horror here, take 1 horror here, use my ability to kill this guy off. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to place the clue I want, but that's fine. That is it for this round. Upkeep. Oh, also, we heal a horror off of you. Boop. Captivating Performance, that will be useful. Perception, that's also useful. 3rd Doom. Confining Structure, if there's no copy of Confining Structure attached to your location, attach Confining Structure to your location, otherwise it gains Surge. Attached location gets non-Euclidean, take 1 damage and 1 horror. As an action, you can test Agility 3. If you succeed, discard it. So that's going to go here. I could stop it, but I'm actually kind of okay with taking it. I don't know, actually. This one's kind of rough. I think I will go ahead and take the horror and ward it. Actually, no. Keep it. Keep it here. because we have Eyes of the Dreamer coming. So I can grab a clue off of this and then just purposely trigger the non-Euclidean to start placing more clues down. All right, over here. Pulsing Barrier. Reveal X random tokens from the cast bag where X is half the amount of notice in your campaign log. Rounded up. For each of those revealed, take 1 damage or 1 horror, maximum 3 total. Oh boy. All right, I have 19 and it's rounded up, right? Rounded up. So I reveal 10 tokens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 3. Yeah. Almost got away with it, but I don't think it's even possible. It is technically possible, just not very feasible. All right, so 3 damage, 3 horror. I can put 2 damage on you, and I'll take a damage. That one's a mean one. All right, investigation. All right, let's start with Agnes. Search top 3. Oh my god, the next card would have been the tool. Oh well, shuffle. And I also didn't get any spells. All right, I'm going to go ahead and spend 3 for Eyes of the Dreamer. I'm going to go ahead and investigate this location, 7 to 3. I will use 1. Actually, I don't need to use 1 at all, because if I get auto-fail, I have this thing. All right, so 7 to 3. Okay, we pass, we get 1 clue. And I'll do it one more time, 7 to 3. That is just -2. I do pass. All right. Meanwhile, over here, we got Marion here. What do we want to do? I'm going to go ahead and take a horror to grab a clue. Then I'm going to, for my first action, play Soothing Melody. I'm going to heal 2 horror off of Field Agent and draw a card. And then this will get shuffled back in because of my 3rd level ability. And then after it's resolved, I'm going to go ahead and draw another card. Oops, I don't know why I did that. I do it myself. Not going to worry about that, I guess. Okay, I'm just going to investigate this location. I am 4 to 3. I'm going to commit a perception. Actually, I will change something off of this. I'll gain 3 resources, and I'll take a horror. Actually, no. I'll just do the lightning bolt. Discard all of these. Go away. Problem solved. Okay. I'm gonna... So far I've done... I've done 1 action. That's right. Because I played the Soothing Melody. I'll investigate now. I'll go 6 to 3. I'll commit a perception and a determined. I pass. I'll get the clue here. Draw a card. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and move. I have to reveal a random token. I unfortunately have to take a damage or a horror. I will take a damage. but I do trigger this, so I will go ahead and place a clue on this one. Okay. The Astana. The Astana is both the residence and office of the Governor of Singapore. Its design is a combination of classic Imperial British designs with the more open layout typical of native Malaysian structures. 4 shrouds, 4 clues, action, parlay, move an unengaged non-elite enemy once towards you. If that enemy engages you as a result of this action, discover 1 clue from Astana, limit once per round. Your position may seem ludicrous, but if you can prove that you are being hunted, the local government may be convinced to help you. Has 1 victory. Okay, that is everybody. So we'll go ahead and go to upkeep. And upkeep. And give me 1 moment. All right, quick recap from the previous the round we just finished. I did draw a token, cultist, so I am going to go ahead and reveal it and auto-fail it to put a clue back on here. But also, since I revealed a cultist during a skill test, I am going to go ahead and place a clue on this. So my apologies. It was on the first one was a -2, the second one was a cultist, which was -2, which would have been a pass, but I would have to reveal this and then resolve this effect. But I'm actually okay with auto-failing because that still gives me something to work with, and I'll just have to work on getting this next time. Key thing is it just becomes an automatic fail. It doesn't actually become the auto-fail token. Anyway, Mythos, we're up to 4 out of 6. You better leave. It's going to be over here. And I don't have a way... every time you do this, it's going to do bad things. Yeah, I'll take a horror for this one. And prevent it. I mean, it's either that or she does a parlay. You know what? You can just parlay it. Never mind. You go up there. All right, and then over here, Wharf Rat. Okay. Good times had by all. All right, investigation. Let's start with Agnes. Search top 3. No spells. All right. I'll go ahead and investigate this location, 7 to 3. That is a pass. I get a clue. After an attest is revealed, I guess after an is I'm just wondering how the order operations here. Okay, unfortunately I don't get to place the clue this time around, but that's okay. Alright, so got my clue. I think I'm going to go ahead and trigger this confining structure nonsense. It's going to do damage to me, but I can live with that. Alright, so I'll take a damage, take a horror, and then place my clue onto this effect. And then move ourselves up this way. Convent of the Holy Infant. The complex of buildings was originally dedicated as a school, but has since grown to include the orphanage, refuge, and grand chapel that it is known for today. 2 shroud, 2 clues. Action, willpower 4. If you succeed, move a clue controlled by investigator location to the story card. If you succeed by 2 or more, you may instead add 1 clue to a story card from the token bank. Limit 1 success per turn. So I'm 7 to 4, which is definitely nice. But I think I'll play it safe. I'll do a Eyes of the Dreamer 7 to 2 and get 1 clue. All right. So we'll have that ready for the future. All right. Meanwhile, Marion. Let's go ahead and spend one to do a sweeping kick. This will put us at 7-3. That is -4, thankfully. Wait, that's not -4. It's rounded down, right? Yeah, rounded down. Oh, it's -3. Oops. I mean, it still didn't make much of a difference, but it would have changed how I committed things, but that's okay. I still pass. So I do 2 damage and kill it. I revealed a skull, so I can place a clue onto this thing, because it was on a skill check. Yeah, per test, so I can do it. I also killed a humanoid, which unfortunately is not a conspirator or cultist, so I'm not going to be able to place anything with that. I am going to go ahead and use my ability to draw a card. And unfortunately, I did things in the wrong order. Does he prevent parlays? He doesn't. All right, so before I attack, I'm going to parlay and spin 2 to get rid of this stupid thing. Then do the sweeping kick, then chain off of it. Speaking of chaining off of it, this location is Force Shroud. Oh yeah, I think I could have used Field Agent last round, but I completely forgot. All right, we're going to do a Fortuitous no, we'll do a... I mean, we're kind of screwed either way. I'm going to do a Winging It, which will cost 1. So 4-3. Good luck. Nope, no good. All right. I will go ahead and do a horror on you to get a clue. And then I'm going to, for my last action, draw a card. Yep, that'll be useful. Oh yeah, at the end of Agnes's turn, we should have healed a horror off of Pete. Okay, that is everybody. Upkeep. Hey, got the compass. So with that, we can do some silly combos. Because we need to do 2 clues from the token bank. So if we can get like 2 geometric seals at the same time, that would be awesome. Upkeep, not a Field Agent. All right, Mythos phase. 5th Doom out of 6. Eldritch Geometer, any location, empty if possible. I do need to eventually go down that way, so we'll put you down here. Around every corner. Okay, 3-3. Yeah, we'll just go 3-3. I fail. This guy will move and then immediately attack me. Okay, I'm going to get hit for 1 and 1, and unfortunately I don't really have much I can do about that. All right, investigation phase. All right, we have some options. It's just not great ones. All right, first things first, we're going to do the 7-4 test here. We pass by a bunch, so I can take a clue from the token pool and put it wherever the hell we want. We'll put it over here. Okay, next we'll move. Then I'm going to attack the Eldritch Geometer with a Shriveling. This will put us at 9-3. We pass, it kills him. This is a Conspirator or Cultist, so I will go ahead and put this here. And then I will also... I'm not going to do anything else this round. We can hold on to that for now. Okay. Marion, go ahead and grab a clue. Then I will go ahead and spend one to do a Fortuitous Discovery. I have one in the discard, so that's going to put us at 5-4. We'll go 7-4. Yep, that's 7-4. All right, and skulls are only -3, so boom. That is only -2, so I do pass. I also can go ahead and put a clue onto this thing. So there's now 5 on it. I will get 2 clues off this location because there's 1 in the discard. So yep, 2 clues. I'm then going to heal a damage and a horror off of you and ready you. I'm going to go ahead and use my ability to draw a card. I'm not going to chain any other things to it. And I think that's it. 1 second. Alright, was just making sure I spent the money, which I did. So we got everything off of this. Biggest issue right now is I'm kind of getting beat up. And I think I've used everything that gives me resources at this point. Yep, I've used everything that gives me resources. I'm going to go ahead and draw a card. I'm going to go ahead and play a Soothing Melody. I'm going to heal... I'm actually going to do a 3 for this one. Heal 2 damage and a horror off myself. And draw a card. And get this. Alright, and then I'm going to... For my final action, I'm going to draw 1 more card. Alright, that is everybody. Keep. Keep. Mythos. Well, actually, I could have changed one other thing, couldn't I? Yeah, I could have done Glimmer of Hope, but that's okay. I'm not going to do it yet. Alright, we do advance. Architectured obstacles. Your efforts to break the barrier have not gone unnoticed. One of the renegade architects emerges from the shadows, shifting the spell to counter you more directly. Spawn a set-aside barrier architect at the closest location to the lead investigator without an investigator. Set aside. Barrier architect. 3 fight, 3 evade, 6 health, humanoid cultist, sorcerer, elite, aloof. When you activate a reaction ability on a copy of Geometric Seal, it attacks you regardless of location. When you defeat Barrier Architect, gain 2 clues from the token bank. Victory 1. Alright, so he's going to spawn closest location to a lead investigator without an investigator. We'll put him here. Next, if there are 2 to 3 names listed under cultist alive, nope. Otherwise, your earlier efforts deprived the cultist of several capable agents, driving the remaining renegades to a more desperate state of mind. Attach the set-aside maddening designs to the barrier architect. I don't know what that's going to do. This effect can't... Power Madness attached to Barrier Architect. This effect cannot be cancelled. Attached enemy gets +2 health and gains Retaliate. When attached enemy is defeated, move Maddening Designs to the victory display. Okay, so now this guy has 8 health. Diminishing fractals. As the cult geometers focus their power, a sudden sound like scraping glass rips through the air. Sections of the barrier begin to fold inward on themselves, slipping from existence entirely and steadily shrinking the size of the dome. Cornered as you are, you cannot afford to be caged even further. All right, bad cards. Are you a cultist? Or a conspirator, sorry. You are not a conspirator. Speaking of, was that guy a conspirator? Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. All right, agility 3, so I'll be 5 to 3. Could prevent it entirely if I want to. Nope, I'll just go 5 to 3. We'll go 6 to 3. Okay, we pass. Okay, evils. Okay, reveal the top 3 cards. 1, a 2, a 3. I'll remove them from the game. Alright, investigation phase. Alright, can I do 8 damage to this guy? I can come pretty close. Let's go ahead and move down. I'm going to go ahead and engage the guy. Do I want to gauge this round? If I engage him, fight him. Okay, I think I have a way of doing this. Yeah, I'll engage him. I'm going to fight him with Shriveling. This will put us at 9 to 3. All right, Skull. So that's only -3 because I fail math. So I will do 2 damage. I'm then going to go ahead and take a horror, use my ability to do another damage. Then I'm going to fast out a sword cane and do another damage, and then activate its ability. So I can do 6 this round. Yeah, I'll go 7 to 3 and see what happens. Good, we do another damage. I'll go ahead and do Arcane Initiate, search top 3. I unfortunately have to take the Dark Memory. I'll reveal the Dark Memory. I'll put 2 horror on you, and then heal 1 of it. And that'll be the end of her turn, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm going to get hit here. But that'll be another damage to him, and then I can kill him next round, maybe. Alright, well, while that's going on, I'll spend 2 actions to get rid of a Tichophobia. And then we're going to move over to this last location. Sultan Mosque, a new mosque designed to celebrate the centenary of the community's older and much smaller mosque. The main structure is still under construction, but the architects estimate that it should be completed by the end of the year. 3 shot 4 clues. Action: if there are no clues on Sultan Mosque, you can move 2 clues controlled by any investigator at Sultan Mosque to any story cards in play. Distribute it how you wish, then places clues on Sultan Mosque up to its original clue value. Group limit once per game. The mosque architects work with both old and new styles and may be able to give you insight into how to counter the cult architects. Okay, I will go ahead and take a horror and grab a clue. And that'll be it on that front. Okay. Enemy phase, I'm going to get hit for 1 and 1. I'll take a horror. And I'll take a damage, and I'll use my ability to do a damage here, and then do upkeep. Pretty sure that was fine. Let me check if I shuffled. I did not shuffle. Okay, that works. Okay, Mythos. First doom. A spook, location with the most clues, which is over here. Basophobia, put into play in your threat area after you resolve a non-Euclidean location, resolve that effect additional time, limit once per effect. Double action to get rid of. Okay, well, I don't have any to worry about, so that's okay. Alright, investigation phase. Oh, I should have... Oh, no, I already healed the horror. That's fine. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and start by doing Arcane Initiate, search top 3. There's a spell at least. Okay. Next, I'm going to go ahead and do a Shriveling against the Architect. We'll go 9 to 3. Okay, he is dead. I get 2 clues from the token bank. This gets set aside. I did... Okay, I can do the reactions in any order. So I get the 2 clues first, and then I'll place a clue onto this thing. All right. One second. All right, I'm good to go. All right. I'm going to go ahead and investigate this location using Eyes of the Dreamer. Actually, do I want to just move and deal with the other nonsense first? No, we're good to go. So 7 to 2. We pass, we get a clue. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do the effect here, 7 to 4. Okay, that was 6. So 7 to 4, I was 6 to 4. I succeed by 2 or more, so I can add a clue from the token bank. I'm going to go ahead and put it on onto this one. And then over here, so I can go, what, 6 to 3 here? That is an option. I'll go ahead and engage the spook. And then I'm going to go 6 to 3 by doing Inspiring Presence. I do a damage. And then I heal a damage and a horror. And then I'm going to punch this guy again, 4 to 3. We'll go 5 to 3. It's a fail. Okay. Enemy phase, I'll get hit for 1 damage. Upkeep. Oh, I forgot to resolve the Dark Memory. I'm going to take a horror here, get healed, and then I'm actually going to kill off the Arcane Initiate. And then I'm going to go ahead and discard these 2 Rite of Seekings. Okay, that's fine. Mythos. Second Doom. Hyperbolic Sigils. The highest Shroud value that does not have it attached. Highest Shroud value is all the way up there. Attached location gets that. Okay. Threat area. Got it. Alright, investigation. First action, I'm going to play Arcane Initiate. I'll take the Doom. I'll search top 3. I'll take the Spectral Shield. I'll fast out the Spectral Shield. I'm going to go ahead and do the 7 to 4 test here. So that's 5 to 4. I have to use one of my own clues now. And then we'll, actually for our last action, I will spend 2 to get out this. Okay. I'll reveal this, and I'll soak one of the horror, and then put 1 horror on her. Meanwhile, over here, I'm going to go ahead and spend 1 to do Glimmer of Hope from the discard. This will provoke an attack. I will take it. I will use my ability with it to draw a card, and then I'll play Soothing Melody off of that. I'm going to heal 2 damage off of the Field Agent, and then shuffle it back into the deck, and then draw a card. Alright, next I'm going to fight. I'm currently 4 to 3, 5 to 3, 6 to 3. That should be fine, 6 to 3. Okay, that I have to reveal another one. Okay, so I remove one of them. Cancel one. Yeah, I cancel one of them. Skull is -3, so I beat this 3 to 3. So I do kill him, and this is going to do a couple of things. So 1, I revealed the skull, and I killed a conspirator. So I will place this down, and then I will place this on the one I just the kill one over here. And then, of course, this will now go into the, I get to release this tablet, put this over here, and advance. First Flux. Applying the knowledge gleaned from your initial observations, you work out a basic understanding of how the barrier works. As you solidify your theories, the dome begins to wobble, its shape losing consistency. If the mere knowledge of these arcane mechanics is enough to counter the barrier, then there may be hope for you yet. Good to know. Alright, pushing the boundaries. The Architect's spell seems to rely on using both the knowledge of the spatial warping magic and the will to shape it. You must match their wits and will with your own. If there are 2 tablets in the Chaos bag, you must immediately advance. Alright, I have 1 action remaining, which I'm going to use to investigate. I believe I have 2 of these in the deck now, or in the discard. Yes, I do. I will spend 2 resources to do a Fortuitous Discovery. This is going to put us at 6 to 3. And we'll see how it goes. Alright, I'll take the -2. I pass, and I'll get 3 clues. Like so. Alright. So we got the clues. We just need to trigger things now. And it should be easy enough to do. In fact, I'm pretty sure I can just rush to the end now. All right. No enemies. Upkeep. Hello, internal energy. Upkeep. This is going to get discarded. Mythos. 4th out of 5th. Corrupting influence. Fractured thoughts. Secretly add this in your hand when investigate your location when move, or add a clue to a story card. Reveal fractured thoughts and choose one. Investigators as a group place two of their clues on their location. Cancel that moving or adding of a clue. Take 2 horror. Choose and discard 2 cards from your hand to discard it. Okay. In that case, I will start with Marion. I will spend an action to discard this. I'll discard a field agent and a nautical charts. I'll go ahead and move over to here. And then I'm going to move again. Test willpower 0, reveal X tokens, where X is the amount you succeeded by. Okay, so I do actually, no, sorry. It was just a move. Reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a weakness, draw it. Otherwise, discard it. Okay. Discard it, and then I have nothing. It's going to trigger twice, but it doesn't really matter because I don't have any other cards to actually reveal. Since I trigger a Euclidean effect, I can go ahead and put one of my clues on this. All right, that is it for her. Goes to Agnes. Agnes is going to move down. As a lightning bolt, I have the compass of the Grand Lodge. I'm going to go ahead and parlay, add 2 tokens from the token bank and distribute them however I wish. So I'm going to do this. 1 and 1. So I'll go ahead and release this tablet. Immediately advance. Second Shatter. Your understanding of the second principle further weakens the shifting dome. Cracks and splinters begin to cross through the various shapes and patterns, forming lines where the barrier takes longer to morph. Once your knowledge is complete, you will be free. And then release tablet. Final Fracture. Your final breakthrough proves to be a literal one. As your discovery of the dome's inner workings unravel it completely, the geometric shapes fold into each other, winking out of existence or dissolving into the stonework of Singapore's landmarks, leaving you free to leave the city as you will. Resolution 2. So yeah, this one could be kind of swingy, simply because a lot of these are kind of random. What are the other 2? Yeah, this one's literally all about hidden treacheries. And then the other one is about paradox treacheries you have to deal with. So a lot of these are kind of outside your control in some cases. The Euclidean effect is at least you can at least work with. There's at least a location that has that. But if you don't draw any conspirator or cultist enemies, which is, I mean, we didn't draw that many, you wouldn't be able to get clues onto this as easily. And then, of course, this one's completely based off randomization. Obviously, there's at least ways to get around that. There are the 2 locations that have the special test. Then there's, of course, the Clover route, where you just grab all the clues off this place and keep placing clues on things over and over again. So overall, it's not too bad, but it can definitely be kind of swingy, especially if you don't know what any of the locations do, which I don't ever remember. I knew one of them had like Euclidean stuff, but other than that, I didn't really know anything about it. Anyway, but yeah, I think it's pretty well balanced, actually. Resolution 2. Obviously, the big dangers is if you got like multiples of Mad Architects. Like if you drew 2 at once, then you're going to be kind of screwed. It's also just kind of really easy with Agnes, because Agnes can do damage to aloof enemies with her ability. And this time around, we didn't actually get Spectral Shield until later, which was kind of dangerous, but the fact that we were able to freely use our horror ability was very, very useful. Yeah, we were definitely pushing the boundary out as far as how much damage we can take, but it still worked out in our favor. All right, Resolution 2, right? Yep. With the shattering of the barrier, the agents of the cult blend back into the crowds of Singapore, leaving you confused but relieved. The city took no notice of the attack against you, but surely there must be some evidence left behind. You return to Singapore Masonic Lodge to investigate any connections to the traitors, only to discover that many of their members disappeared around the same time that your pursuers did. You give a brief explanation to the Lodge's Grand Master of the events at the Philadelphia branch, sparing the more otherworldly details, and insist on conducting your own search inside. In one of the building's many basement rooms, you finally find what James Wycliffe first hired you to find, the missing artifacts. Piles of twisted stone blocks and impossibly carved figurines lie scattered about, along with detailed notes on their construction. Included with the notes are architectural plans of a sort for monolithic stone pillars constructed and positioned to bend space in the area between them. Your suspicions about the spatial warping stone are confirmed at last. This plan will allow them to move Rillier from the bottom of the Pacific Ocean up to the surface and awaken their master Cthulhu. Unfortunately, the cultists were careful about not writing down any hints as to where their project will culminate. You pore over the blueprints to find anything that could help you stop their plans. In the footnotes of one of the technical drawings, you discover a small diagram depicting a failsafe for experimenting with the non-Euclidean stone. This ward acts as an anchor to keep the architects safe while they twist reality. This spell might be useful in countering the reality-twisting magic the cultists have used against you. Record the investigators found the missing artifacts, mark one notice, and then we can add this sigil, immutable sigil, to his or her deck. Okay. Immutable sigil. When a scenario effect would remove any amount of cards from an investigator's hand, play area, or deck from the game, remove one fewer card from the game. If immutable sigil will be removed from the game by a scenario effect, draw it instead. And takes an arcane slot. Ward against the impossible. I think I'll go ahead and give this to Marianne since she has the slot for it. She also doesn't have a lot of ways to prevent the various scenario effects. All right. We get one notice, which will bring us to exactly 20. Investigators found the missing artifacts. Also, I will say the other thing that made this a lot easier was our opening. We had only 3 cards in our hand and only 3 resources, but that opener where it was stand together, 2 true awakenings into another stand together, also having 2 extra actions thanks to the tarot card, the Sun. Yeah, the amount of just compression that we just did on that first round, we got 4 assets for 4 resources for everybody. 4 cards for everybody. Marion got an additional 5 cards on top of that. Obviously, she was spending cards to do this. And she got another 3 resources, and then she went straight into the Ever Vigilant. It was just, that's Ever Vigilant 4 is just ridiculously good. Anyway, Resolution 3. The ultimate destination of the cult's project still troubles you. The site is still unknown to you, but it must be both large enough to raise the sunken island of Rillier, but somewhere that the public or authorities wouldn't see. Moreover, it must also be somewhere that the cult could easily move people and supplies to. You hope that the cult hasn't found a way to twist space to fully hide their project, for lack of better leads. You return to Singapore Harbor to see if anyone has seen the cultists departing all at once. You step up to the notice board, ready to scour the list of ships for details. When an announcement catches your eye, all ship travel through the Sunda Strait is suspended for the foreseeable future due to major volcanic activity in the area. The Crayosha volcano, which famously erupted and sank over 40 years ago, is active once again, with a new volcanic island expected to form from the remaining caldera. The pieces begin to connect. An easily accessible location that the public is currently prohibited from visiting, and with the volcanic activity providing as much fresh stone as the architects need. with its close proximity to Singapore, the Croatia caldera is the perfect candidate, but you must confirm your suspicion. You arrange a meeting with the harbor master, and after a small bribe, he informs you that a group of American entrepreneurs have recently departed to mine pumice from the caldera. The arrangements were made months ago in spite of the expected volcanic activity. And the harbor master shows you the proof of permission signed by one of the Masonic traders. This breakthrough confirms your suspicions and gives you your destination. You must get to the Croatia Basin to bring an end to this plot. If there's a traitor enemy in the victory display, remove that from the Cultist Live and record that name under Cultist Killed in Mark II notice in the campaign log. Well, we've already done that. We don't have any cultists left to kill. We get to Victory X. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3. Yep, so 7 victory. Brings Agnes to 8, and then she gets +1 because of the great work. And then Marion's going to get 7. And then, of course, we're going to get 2 more notice, bringing us up to 22. Also, this run, we did really well on luck. I didn't draw a single autofail. The only autofail I had was caused by a corrupting influence. So this Wheel of Fortune literally didn't do anything. But that's a good place to be. I mean, just having it out also meant I was able to just do, like, Eyes of the Dreamer stuff without actually having to use charges. Not that I was really low on charges. Alright, so let me BRB and I will spend XP. Okay, 9 experience. Time to clean up this deck. Clean up what remaining upgrades we have. We're going to go ahead and upgrade the remaining Ward of Protection to level 5. This will cost us 2 experience because of double Arcane Research and down the rabbit hole. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade the remaining Shriveling to level 5, which will cost 1 because of down the rabbit hole. And then I'm going to go ahead and just go ahead and get the Deny Existence to level 5. One of the Deny Existences to level 5. So the total cost for all of this was 2, 3, 8. So 8 experience will leave me with 1 banked. So hopefully, we haven't really been using the Deny Existence that much, but that's mainly because we tend to draw our shield pretty early. But it is still good to have, especially if I ever in a situation where I have to discard a bunch of cards or something weird. Or if I just need to heal in a pinch and just want to use someone's big attack for that. For Marion, she has 7 experience. I'm going to go ahead and use 1 experience to go ahead and swap out a Perception for my second sweeping kick. And I'm going to go ahead and tag out Task Force for a level 5 1-2 punch, which you guys are already familiar with if you've seen any of my other videos. But with this, we can now have 2 of our attack cards on Stick to the Plan. Task Force was actually pretty good, but it is reliant on somebody having an action ability to take advantage of. But also being able to use it on other people is also very useful. Being down to only 1 perception might suck a little bit, but I think we'll be okay. And what I'll probably do for the next one is if I can get at least up to 5 XP, I can get the other 1-2 punch. And that will at least give Marion a mix of combat and other options to play around with. Yeah, level 5 1-2 punch is guaranteed 2 damage and possibly even 5 damage if you pass the check, which she'll be at 7 fight with it. So chances are pretty high. All right, with all that said and done, I don't think there's anything else we need to worry about for Pyroclastic Flow. So I do recall sort of the mechanics with this one. It's kind of weird. But I do now remember what the Tomb of Dead Dreams is about, and it's definitely going to be a headache. But it's what you expect as far as the theming is concerned. It's all about like impossible shapes and stuff, and that is definitely what Tomb of Dead Dreams is going to be like. Anyway, with all that taken care of, this was a nice and easy match, which was nice compared to what I had to go through for across Dreadful Waters. So at this point, we're practically fully built and ready to beat up Cthulhu. So I'm the Depressed Hero. This was Arkham Horror the card game, doing the custom campaign Cyclopean Foundations by The Beard. And using Agnes Baker and Marion Tavares, we'll be doing Pyroclastic Flow next time. See you guys.